Before that, farmers in China lived and worked collectively in communes. There was nothing privately owned, not even your personal life or family, your own farm tours or homes, still less the land for farming.
反正也就是见了都摘，有就摘。所谓差的是没熟的还是烂掉的？
Also, due to the extreme lack of economic development, a much larger percentage of population than unloose in rural villages. According to statistics, the urbanization rate has spiked from 20% in the year 1980 to over 60% by 2019. So in 1980s, when privatization of farmland was in the reckoning, on the tidal wave of reform and opening up of the entire country, to ensure relative fairness among farmers, who naturally all wanted a more blessed land. The local government administered the cropland to each rural family by the method of joint lots. The lady in the view, who is my wife, grew up in 1980s and the 1990s. He remembers the everyday life the family of four had was rice, including rice porridge, potatoes, including sweet potatoes, and pickles, plus occasional pork for a special reason. And for me, who was in a tender age as well in the 80s, now can dimly recall how citizens got their food on ration. On account of materialistic positions, 80s and 90s was nothing like today. But the social spirit and the morality was definitely going up then. As two Generation Y members, my wife and I both feel very lucky for having lived both golden, bitter and sweet. Let's talk about the persimmon. Persimmons are like tomatoes in semblance and texture, but they are in fact a berry, which is something a lot of people don't realize. Persimmon fruit matures in autumn and can stay on the tree until winter. Before they are ripe, the fruit has a very astringent taste, but it mellows out as the fruit softens. In 2019, China produced 75% of the world's total of persimmon. Not every species of persimmons has seeds in the core, but most have. Have you heard about an American folklore that the seeds of a persimmon can do weather forecasting? This is how you do. Pick a ripe persimmon and get the seed. Cut the seed open and you will see the white kernel in it. If the kernel is spoon-shaped, expect plenty of snow to shovel. If it's fork-shaped, plan on a mild winter. If the kernel is a knife, expect a harsh winter. After the trip, out of curiosity, we cracked a persimmon seed open, and we found the kernel was in the shape of a spoon, which should forebode a snowy winter. We will bear that in mind and let the depth of winter test out how well or badly the persimmon seed can do the trick.
Mm. 我能吃到甜味，甜的。 的确是，又像苹果，口感像苹果，但是口味又是柿子。
对，
把皮给啃掉以后，直接咬里面，挺脆的。
Let me not forget to tell you, a persimmon tends to cause calcium crystallization or stones in the stomach if eaten
苹果是皮，
improperly.
也不是说不能吃，
Don't eat
主要是
it
怕涩口。
on empty stomach. Don't eat it with
当然了，
seafood.
你这里也没
And
地方
don't
洗，
eat too
所以说
much
最好
of
把它给
it
吐
at
掉。
a time. And don't eat the skin.
嘎嘣脆，
嘎嘣脆。
这棵柿子树光秃秃的，没有叶子，全是柿子，好奇特。凑近看一下，一串一串的。刚才路边上采了一颗绿豆，不是的，长出来的，但是孤零零的，就一串。
The two lovely ladies were later working on getting the other thing they wished to get on this trip, the chestnut.
哦，这种青的，它是包在那种
没有长到脱落的时候。
它也是包在那种青的
哎，我们这种新鲜的打下来
毛球里的，就像这种
不会坏的。
比较轻一点的毛球里面出的就是这种青的板栗果子。然后剥开来以后呢，里面的皮也比较好剥一点，口感也是比较甜的。
Now we are back at the layover, where my wife's friend's scooter was parked. From here, the way back ahead is flat. She's taking home a basketful full of gains by her scooter, leaving only the remaining minority for us to take.
行不行啊？你行不行？慢一点。不。
Late September usually sees local farmers sowing canola seeds. Canola is a kind of rapeseed. People grow canola and harvest their seeds in early summer. After extraction, the oil you get from the rapeseed is an important self-sufficient supply of cooking oil for the families themselves. The land you see by the flagstone path is fresh from plowing and ready for sowing. Since the precipitation has been exceedingly little since this summer, sowing of canola seeds is put off. People are hankering after a good amount of rainfall. Now we are back to our base, the shop house of my wife's friends. This shop is run by her and her husband. It runs from dawn to dusk every day. The couple says this grocery can bring them a net profit of something between 20,000 to 30,000 RMB a year, which translates to, if you take 25,000 as the median, $3,500 for a year. In a second thought, I believe this is the number after the deduction of all the living expenses for their family of four. Part of the family business is the collection of the delivered parcels of online shopping. Every early in the morning, the husband goes to the town center, to which this village belongs, to get his supplies of the shop, plus the parcels. The local villagers then come here with a password sent to their cell phone to claim the parcel. As the only franchisee of this village, the shop charges 0.5 yuan, which is 7 cents for each parcel, and 1 yuan for an oversized one. This is an alleyway besides the shop. It's around 11:30. People are having lunch. The scene of people sitting at the door talking to each other takes me back to my life in Shanghai back in 80s and 90s in the alleyways. The Chinese character writing on the wall is the distinct mark left from the Cultural Revolution time. Before we go home, we wrapped up what we harvested and what I purchased on Tmall, which stands for Taobao Mall, a Chinese language website for B2C online retail. Since we do online shopping frequently, we sometimes come here to get our parcels. In passing, we buy some fruits from them. Occasionally a small variety of vegetables, as we are pretty independent on that. My wife has scootered away. Now I am on my bicycle for the way home. I've never used a scooter, neither in Shanghai nor here. My way home has two parts. In this first part is quite flat, running through the village center. The second part is riding up in a village tucked away in the hill. The whole journey home for my bike ride is close to 30 minutes, and for my wife a matter of 12-13 minutes. Guess whom the owner of this American pickup truck coming to me is? It's the party secretary, the head of this village.